never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be a cake designer. Never. I was going to school and I had my son then. So I would go to school, do school runs, and then go to work. And my first job was a Michelin star restaurant, luckily. And I just thought to myself that if I had something like this in Lagos, I'll be badass. I came up one Saturday and we started producing stuff and freezing and just doing like test runs. And I called my husband on the phone. I said, dude, we're open. Come and help me. He said, open where? I was like, yes. Once we announced we were open, my husband had to stop going to work for 2 weeks.
Sweet Tooth Olive. Today on Behind Her Brand, we're joined by the one and only chef Olivia Okeke, aka the Queen Sugar. She's the mastermind behind Livvy Twist Cake Company and Milk and Honey Cafe. And trust me, her cakes are not just desserts. They are works of art. With awards piling up and Michelin star restaurant experience under her belt, Olivia is setting new standards in the culinary world. You won't want to miss the secrets behind those gorgeous, delicious creations. So stay tuned. Hello, Queen Sugar. Welcome to Behind Her Brand Show. Chef Olivia, can you tell us about your brand and who really is Chef Olivia?
Hi, Buchi. Thanks for having me. I'd say Chef Olivia is a chef that has been evolving every day of her 8 years of experience. This just started like a joke, right? Because after I had gone to school and worked and I came home, all I wanted to do was breads and chocolate. But I'm also a very independent woman, so I needed to make the funds to be able to start up my breads and chocolate business. So I said, cakes, everyone's celebrating cakes all the time, celebrating birthdays and weddings and, So I said, I'm going to start making cakes. And then from the money that we generate from making cakes, we can start the chocolate brand. Well, that's not happening.
Okay.
Because as I started to make cakes, and I would tell people that we made lovely tasting cakes, but not beautiful cakes because I don't have any decorating background. I never had decorated a cake before I started Livvy's Twist. So everything with decorating happened while I was working on paid customer cakes. Slowly, I found that I could do it and that people loved what I was creating. When I started making cakes, I was decorating cakes that people hadn't decorated before. I splashed black, and then in trying to fix whatever I had splashed, I start to create, and then it would be something that people would see and say, oh my God, how did you come up with this? And I'm like,
Wow.
are you sure? Do you really know what you're talking about? But anyways, people started liking it and then they would order. It was slow at first, of course, because I wouldn't say that it was a mapped out business that I had thought of and, created, outlined my concepts and everything. I knew I wanted to do business in pastry, but definitely not cakes. So cakes was a startup, but it's now the finish line pretty much. And then Livvy's Twist has born its own baby, which is Milk and Honey Cafe, which is doing tremendously well. So I'm really excited.
Wow, that's so interesting to know. First started as a passion to create chocolate and bread, you said?
Yes.
And then to create the chocolate and bread brand, you birthed a cake brand to raise the money. And funny, the cake brand has become the mother brand for all other brands, which you're going to birth.
Mhm.
And you said you don't see yourself doing anything with chocolate anytime soon.
No.
Okay.
I'm going to do chocolates, of course. When we have the bigger space where we consolidate all the brands together,
Okay.
we're going to be doing a lot of chocolates, bonbons, and we're already doing some bread with the new company. We're trying to develop some bread collection,
Okay.
which we would soon put out. So yeah, the bread is still in line with it,
Okay.
but never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be a cake designer. Never. So it's a testimony to consistency and just listening to customers and just doing your whatever you can do, doing your best with each work that you put out, and then allowing your creativity come to play in your work. So it's been interesting from my standpoint, watching me
Go.
grow. Yes, it's really it's something I can't even quite comprehend, because sometimes I create cakes and I'm like, okay, 2 minutes ago you didn't know what to do to this cake, and the cake looks phenomenal. So what exactly is? So I mean, that's the God factor in it, that God just comes and directs you, and you're just a pencil, you know.
So you've trained at prestigious institutes and worked in Michelin star restaurants. How did these experiences shape your approach to pastry and cake design?
At first, I would say that the first journey for me was at Cactus Lagos. And I think that it did something to me, that, and it opened up opportunities for me abroad when I went to study, because I had stashed at Cactus for a year. So I understood the way Nigerian confectionery spaces worked, or to an extent. And then, so when I went to school, it was more like a reference point. So, oh, this is why this was done this way. Oh, this is why this was done this way. And because I already knew a few things, and I was comfortable with the understanding of the knowledge that was being brought to my table, I applied for a job. And I did get the job while I was in school. So I was going to school, and I had my son then. So I would go to school, do school runs, and then go to work. And my first job was a Michelin star restaurant. Luckily, I mean, God is just amazing.
It's a good God.
And out of everyone that did the interview, I got the job. It wasn't even a job for the restaurant that I had worked at. So they were trying to employ for a sister company that they would open the next year. But after the interview, I was back to back. I followed up like, do you guys, can I come and stash today? Is your kitchen busy? Did someone not show up to work? I was on them. And then they're like, oh, you know what, you can come. I was in some other state. I went for a wedding. And they said, oh, can we see you tomorrow? I flew back that night.
Wow.
I flew back that night, and then I started the job the next day. And from there, when it was time to open the new company, it was good for me too, because at that point we had developed experience. So we took that to the new company, and we opened the sister company for the chef Michael. And it was amazing. It's the fastest kitchen I've ever worked at. So detailed, like, it's incredible. We work like robots. The processing is done speedily. The work is done impeccably. There's no room for errors. There's no room for mistakes. If 1.1 gram of salt is more in that food, we're not serving it. It was just spectacular. And I just thought to myself that if I had something like this in Lagos, I just imagine I'll be badass. So it did form my discipline. But now I'm bringing it to Nigeria. Of course, you know, we don't have abroad. They have a lot of, you don't employ people that don't have food certificates, food managing certificates. You don't employ people that didn't go to culinary school. So here is like groundwork. You're starting from, so it's a bit different, you know, to manage people. But it's been incredible. I feel like that experience has made me who I am. The impeccable act of work has really helped me to grow my brand and to keep on keeping on, because it's easy to give up.
True.
Nigeria will turn all the blows at you, but you cry, get up, you dust it off, and you continue. So it's really helped me a lot. And it's helped me to realize that this thing can be done. Whatever you're thinking can be done. People have done it and they've passed it. So just buckle up and do it.
Yeah, just research and then and just do it. Because I once interviewed someone who said that when people come to her with like a request for something, and she wouldn't say she can't do it. She just say, okay, I'll get back to you, and then she goes home, does the homework, research, and then, you know, delivers on it. And I think it's a key point, you know, when you're trying to build a brand that lasts. Like, you've built a brand for 8 years, and the brand is going to thrive. I think it's thriving, and I believe that it's going to go on to hit, you know, 10 years, 20 years, be transgenerational. Because that's the goal of what we intend to, the stories we intend to amplify on behind a brand, is to say that we look at women over the last 8, 5, 10 years, what real brands that are lasting, and say, tell us how you did it so that the next generation can learn, and I'm very pleased, very humbled to have
I
you
am humbled
on our
to be
show.
called.
Yeah, to have you on our show. And this is really insightful to know that you started from listening to your customers, really. One disaster turned into your sweet success. Earlier on, you talked about how you birthed the Livvy Twist company. Would you say, in the course of your journey, have you had any client complain about your cake before? And if you had, how did you solve it? Or how did that impact your business negatively, positively? Because some disasters can be blessings in disguise.
I feel like God ordained disasters to happen so that you grow.
Key, God ordained disasters.
Yes. I feel like disasters are a must. Now, how you move past the disaster is what's crucial. We've had fallen wedding cakes. We've had really bad cakes. There was one time a flour company that we used to buy from had an error in production and it wasn't communicated to purchasers, which is us. And then we were using it and someone called one day and she's like, you know what? Your cakes taste like those cakes we used to eat back in the day. So hard. You have to chew and swallow. You have to drink water with each bite. And I couldn't sleep for 1 week because I was thinking, what is it? What did we change? I started talking to all my vendors. What products were you importing? I started checking expiry dates. Maybe we're missing something out. And then I had a lunch with 2 of my cake friends. And I'm like, are you guys having the same issues? And that's the thing also. Knowing that you have a community with the people that do the same thing that you do. There's so much space for all of us.
True.
And don't be shy or don't feel, if you know your onions, you can talk about it. So I said, do you guys have the same problem? Because I'm having challenges with people calling and saying that these cakes are not good. And then she's like, oh, it's a flour. What brand do you use? And we all use the same brand. And it was the same problem. And once I took that away, but at this point I had lost a lot of customers because the cake looks good. It's hot from the oven. It's hot, but we cool it, so it's dense.
It's dense
when it's in the freezer, and you're working on it while it's cool, hoping that when the customer gets it, it comes back to room temperature and they can enjoy it. And then I started testing it out. I tested it on puff puff. It was so hot. I tested it on pancakes. It was so hot. So we took it out and we changed the brand. And instantly, people had the comments where they said, oh, Chef Olivia is so busy, she's not baking anymore. That's why the cakes are that bad. And once we changed it, like, oh, Olivia, you're back in the kitchen, thank God. And it had nothing to do with
you.
I hadn't baked for years at this point because I'm not the one that, there's processes. There's someone for baking, there's someone for building, there's someone for decorating, there's someone to finish. I mean, the kitchen is divided into sections. So I hadn't baked. I still haven't baked in a while, So that really did hurt us a little bit, but we bounced back. And the God factor, I keep bringing God back.
Yes. He's important.
And you tell him that, okay, I had this challenge, God, I fix it, bring back my customers somehow. And then the customers are right back, So, yeah, we've had a lot of rocky road movement, but we fix it. And that's why it's also good that the customers call us back and
feedback.
Say, I didn't like this. It could hurt you at the point where they say it, but it helps you grow.
Yes, it could also transform you. And it was good for you to know because it then helped you cut out the supplier who was supplying.
Oh, I did write a long email to them. They never responded. But yes, I did cut them out.
But it's good. And they never responded.
Yeah, they never did.
Wow. Local vendor, international
local. Vendor. I do mostly local. As much local as I can.
The business.
No. It's just availability of products.
Okay.
If it's an international item, it has to be sourced locally. I'm not going to import stuff and put it in the country.
No, I love it. I love the fact that you are using local produce to to make your pastry and cakes, and they turn out quite well. They've turned out very beautiful, taste nice. At least all the ones that I've had the pleasure of eating with my family. So you now own a cafe. How is it like running a first you have the cake business on one side, and now you have a walk-in cafe where people can come in and kind of experience you, experience your brand, and experience all the sides of what what Chef Olivia and her company can produce. So tell me, how has that experience been, and how many years has Milk and Honey been?
Milk and Honey has been a year and a half now.
Okay.
It's been incredible understanding the concept of service, because I'm always back of house in the kitchen, rough and everything. So now we're out in public, where it's an open kitchen so you can see people work. I don't know. I never anticipated the speedy growth that it has taken. My point of view, or my idea of the brand, is to make sure that we produce authentic, good tasting food, but simple. Nothing complicated, no fancies, just really good food. And of course, my idea is, I have the goal in my head, I communicate it with the team, but also for the team to buy into the vision that I have for the brand and then carry it, because I cannot do it by myself. I need every tentacle working. I need all the veins working. I was just setting up a kitchen outdoors that we could supply some Livvy Twist cakes from. And when I set it up, I had a small space in front. I said, we could tile it up. We tiled it. We could put some greens. We put some greens. We could put a bench and table and chairs. We put a bench and chairs. And then I came up one Saturday and we started producing stuff and freezing and just doing like test runs. And I parked my car in front another day that I was going in to see. We hadn't finished like the toilet and stuff and storage. And I parked my car and I said, open the gate. We are open. And the people, we were like a team of 4. And these girls were like, Chef, are you okay? I'm like, yes. And I called my husband on the phone. I said, dude, we're open. Come and help me. He said, open where? It was also like a spontaneous opening. I called my sister. She handles my social media. So I said, I'm open. She said, how do you just wake up in the morning? Like, I know you're last minute, but this is too last minute for a business. I said, I'm opening today. So tell everybody. And you know what was surprising? We opened on a Saturday morning, but we walked 2 weeks straight standing. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Once we announced we were open, the traffic coming to the place kept us on our feet. My husband had to stop going to work for 2 weeks.
Whoa.
And he was with me. And at some point, I'm like, okay, calm down. This is not what we planned. I don't know if I can handle this. So we had to shut down. I thought it's a bit too much for me. This isn't what I had planned. But it also shows that Lagos was hungry for authenticity and good food. Of course, we got a lot of things wrong at the beginning. We couldn't pick the phones because there was nobody to pick phones. We couldn't respond to WhatsApp messages on time. There was a lot. In fact, the customers make that business what it is, because the menu was born out of, we want meat pie. Why can't you make meat pie for us? We want sausage. Why can't you make? So the menu was born out of the request of people. It was suggestions. Every single suggestion made sense. So it's a dynamical growth that I can't quite explain. But the business is thriving for itself and is running itself. And we keep growing. We're not like 100%, but the team has done a good job so far. And we're growing, and we hope to open a lot more branches, hopefully pretty soon.
Was that the brand that birthed your puff puff that had this sprinkle of brown sugar in it?
No. So everything we make at Milk and Honey, we've always made at, not everything, but the starter ups. So the apple pies, the puff puffs, we always made at Livvy Twist, but on a larger scale. So you can't order like 6 pieces of it. You have to order a lot. So people would have them for their birthdays. But it wasn't as popular because we were not also outside. Yeah, so now people can come in and retail and buy. Yes.
So I think all of your companies are happenstances. They just happen. So
Yes.
you have it in your head, of course, you've cast your vision, and then you just go for it.
Yeah. And it's funny because I saw a document I wrote 2012. It's a different name at that point, but it was like everything. I had done a feasibility study. I knew the machinery I wanted to buy. I had sourced them. I had written compared prices amongst all the suppliers. I went to Lagos Island. I got all the vendors I needed for the job, like flour vendors, sugar vendors, and co. And I looked at it last week and I was just like, oh my God, this has just, this is now really a reality.
Sure.
And this was way before Livvy's Twist. So
what you waited for and what you wrote down, it's coming to pass.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
And you've mentioned the God factor, how important, how God has played phenomenal role in your life, and it's at the center of what you do and who you are as Chef Olivia. There's a popular saying, which is also biblical, where people say, "Write it down and make it plain. He that sees it, pick it and run with it." Would you say in writing down all your dreams and aspirations helped you kind of channel your energy, channel your focus, channel it spiritually to make all those things come to fruition? So would you say it's something that every young woman aspiring to build brands take notice of?
Not just in writing, in visualizing and communicate and speaking. You need to know the people to talk to.
Okay.
And also, I had so much support from my family, from my husband. I had like tremendous support. So I can't even take all the glory of what we've done.
Okay.
My siblings were there. They were the customer service rep. They were the bakers. At some point,
bakers.
All my siblings can bake because everybody sort of passed through the brand,
Okay.
So they were the bakers, the cleaners. We were all just mumbo jumbo in this thing in the back, So I had a lot of support. God was on top of it and directed when I pray. I'm not a kabush. I'm not a heavy prayer person, but when I pray, I ask God for wisdom, direction, and that whatever He pushes to me, that my eyes are open to see exactly what He wants. Because some things can come to you and you can let it go. But if He opens my eyes to see it, then I can grab it and utilize it. I'd say God factor, dream the largest you can dream so that when you fall short on a good landing.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Olivia. I'm sure that our viewers watching have a lot of nuggets to take home in how things can happen to you by chance, but opportunity meets preparation.
Exactly.
And you went through training. You took chances. I mean, you had to fly from another state to another state when you got a call that you should, be available. Most people would have said, "Oh, I'm not available. Can I come back tomorrow?" But you took a chance on yourself. You pretty much bet on yourself that you can do it, and you were what they needed, but they didn't know that they needed you at the time. So bringing it back home, like you said something really key. You talk about community, how you can be open to discuss the challenges that you are facing. If you look back 10, 15, 20 years ago, a lot of people who started, most bakers may not have had a strong community like we do now. Now with social media has amplified everything. You can find anybody at the tip of your fingers. So what would you advise aspiring young bakers or cake artists or pastry chefs or chefs in general? How would you tell them to tap into their community, tap into the resources available to them? Not monetary per se, but more people. It's more people. More because people drive everything. They drive your business, they drive you because you create things because of the way people have said, "Oh, this is missing. Can you do this?" Yeah. So what advice would you give to somebody just starting out, not knowing what to do? May have the skill, but not knowing what steps to take.
Yeah, I find that a lot of people, have the skill, but they don't have the audience. You have to hunt for your audience. My dad says, if you cannot pay your school fees, you should go back to your village and go to your community people. Talk to the elders, and the elders will help you gather money and send you to school. So you have to have a community, be it church, be it fellowship, be it your friends. Your friends are really the hardest to get to, in the sense that your friend have seen you finish. When I first started, my friends would still go and buy cakes from elsewhere. And it's not bad. because they want their cake to look a certain way. But they've seen me, they know me, and they know I cannot decorate. So why are they going to? Do you understand? So they
Yeah.
might say, "Oh, you make the cake that we'll all eat," and then I will still go to cakes and cream. So find your community, find your village, and then start up with the village. And I feel that for you to sell anything, you have to first believe in what you are selling.
Yep.
If you believe it, you can communicate it. Now, with everybody that sits close to me, I don't stand up without telling you what I do. I was never really an Instagram person at the beginning. I'm very shy in front of the camera.
Mhm.
So I'm not someone that would take videos of my work. In fact, I feel like in creating, I always tell myself, oh, this time I'm going to record it. And then when I start, it's until I finish, I remember, oh my God, I didn't record this thing. So find your village. Communicate what you need.
To them.
Yes, to them. If you need support, they should be your testing ground, Make cakes. They're having a street meeting. Fry puff puff, go and give them. Someone will like the puff puff and call you. And once you make good puff puff, that person will tell somebody else. That person will tell somebody else.
True.
The first year we started Livvy's Twist, it was just, I started Livvy's Twist because it was just me for a long time. So I'm also a supply chain person. I don't believe that I should buy things I want to use to produce food from a supermarket, because the supermarket is more expensive. And then when I build that cost on the cake, it'll be more expensive. So in my search, I talked to a few other people I respected that made cakes. The lady I used to buy cakes from. And she would buy 7 bags of flour and she would give me half of one bag. That half of one bag will last me like 3 months, Now I can't even use 1 bag a day. So I found people that helped.
You go.
Yes, because I'd buy that, I think it was 3.5 for half a bag. No, 3.5 for the full bag. So I pay 1,250 for half a bag. And it will last me a long time. But if I had bought that in the supermarket, I would buy like a custard bucket of it. And it would be like that 1,250 for that small size. So I wouldn't scale if I was doing that. Or I needed butter, I would go buy. So I'd buy a carton of butter, and then, or someone would be ordering large batches. And I'd say, okay, can I attach? So I had a few people like that. I'd attach my purchase with theirs. That saved me money, but that also made me understand how the processes work. So don't be shy to lean on people, to ask for help, and then just keep on keeping on. Yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day, they say. Oh, tiny drops of water make it mighty ocean. So if you think about that, you just keep going. Davido wasn't Davido from day one.
True. So what would you say has been your most memorable experience in your journey in building your brand? What was that event or that experience or that moment that made you go, wow, I've hit it? Not like I've hit it, but like, I can't believe I'm hitting it.
Every day that answer changes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think once upon a time it was maybe my first wedding cake, and then my first abroad wedding cake, and then my first large order. And recently I got a big deal last week. Yay. I'm not going to tell you about it.
Oh, wow.
Things just happen and you're just like, wow, people are really watching and they're seeing what you're doing. Blessings are just coming from left and right.
That's great.
And then in December, we have a branch in Ikoyi, which I'm so excited about.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah. So you're opening a Livvy Twist branch or a Milk and Honey branch. Oh, nice. Because you want to service those people there, and they're your bougie crowd. Congratulations.
God will gather the crowd.
Yes.
Yes, but there are things that have happened, Even I've had a lot of serious investors coming. I'm not open to investors, but there's some people that come to you and you're just like, wow, they view this brand this way. That's a good thing. That's a bump on your shoulder. Even if you don't take it, it's still a bump, It just makes you feel more relevant.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing. It's very awe-inspiring because sometimes like you said, some of your friends will see you finish. Like, I'm sitting down here talking to you and I'm like, oh, wow. She's all that and so much more, because usually you just see chef, where's my cake, chef, have you done chef,
Exactly.
but then if we look deeper, people are much more than they seem. There's a lot that goes behind your brand, the late nights, you engaging your community, you being open. Now
The
we know that
hospital
you're,
visits.
there's so much, and you being a homemaker as well as a business owner, it's a lot for a stellar brand, that you've built. How did you navigate all this, like being a homemaker, being a business owner, also learning, and at one point you went to school? How are you able to scale through?
Have tremendous support. I can't
You said that,
overemphasize
yeah.
my support system. My husband is my biggest support system. Oh my God, that guy challenges me from day one. He's like, I don't know how to explain it. My mom is always there. I can be working on my desk and I'll just call her, say, Mommy, I need to be in London today. I have a job. She'll just be like, okay, what time is your flight? What time do you want me to come get the kids? I have great nannies. I've had good staffing, honestly. I've had some people that have been with me for a long time. So I say support. I can't do it by myself. Like, I break down all the time. I actually break down all the time. If this interview was yesterday, I wouldn't be able to make it. I had a terrible asthma episode yesterday. My husband drove out of the house like 12 midnight to go get my medication. So there's a lot of things that happen, but when you have life, there's nothing that you have to do than to get up and keep moving, right?
Keep moving.
Yeah, so it's challenging, but I think work is supposed to be challenging. If work wasn't challenging, then it won't be work. And it pays off, Thank God it pays off because I have the resources to be able to take care of myself and the people around me. So yeah, I'm able to navigate because I have people. I have backing.
And that's very important. I think especially for we women, when you're starting out, when you're pivoting, when you're scaling, you need support. I don't think it can be overemphasized. I think you need support. And where you can't get support, I'm sure that there's support everywhere. It's just that some of us are not realizing that they are there, or we haven't keyed into it. Like you said, your father said you go back to your community chief and tell him that this is what you want to do. I believe that there's somebody that is rooting for you. Maybe you've not just noticed that person is there, but it's great to know that you had support. That Livvy Twist brand and the Milk and Honey brand is here for a very long time.
It is.
Yes, because Chef Olivia does have support.
I have support.
It's really good. It's really good. In terms of mentoring younger cake artists, I see you at different conferences where they discuss the business of pastry, culinary. How has it been when young women come to you? How has it been mentoring, teaching them? Do you also do like one-on-one sessions, or you just do private sessions, or you have a group where people can ask you questions or DM you? What's your, I don't want to say policy, it sounds too corporate.
I like intelligent questions. A lot of people DM me and say, oh, can I buy your recipe? How much do you charge for if I come? I hate those questions. Now, I want you to tell me, I made a vanilla cake yesterday and it fell. I used so ingredients. What do you think I did wrong? I'm going to school you. I'm going to give you all you need, including vendors that sell the appropriate things. So when I get the opportunity to teach people in that way, I take it. I don't have private sessions, or I have a workshop that I do with Honey Frosting brand. And we have like 12 people and we teach over a 3-day period or something. But I don't have a private class because my only off days are Sundays. I have 4 kids. So
True.
I need rest time for my brain to kind of reset. And I have a small space. So the plan ahead is to develop like a training studio where we can have like schedules and people can come in and learn tailored things with regards to baking and pastry and decorating. If there's a conference, I'm always willing to be part of it. If it's giving back, I feel like it's giving back to the society and to help other people come up as well. I'm always available to navigate you through a path that I think will help you. Some people ask and they say, oh, I want to decorate cake. How much will it be to decorate wedding cakes? And I'm looking on your page, you're not able to decorate a birthday cake and you want to jump to wedding cake, I'd say, okay, why don't you buy a class on Udemy and learn the principles of baking first? Why don't you buy a class on Craftsy and learn the basics of decorating? Buy some books. I would recommend some books. If you're having issues with baking consistency, I have some books to recommend for you. So those are the kind of trainings I would say. And people that have taken it very seriously come back with good feedback and say, I tried this and it worked. The book you recommended, brilliant, I'm able to give back that way for now. No private classes.
Okay.
Yes.
So rather than give them fish, you teach them how to fish.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
if you come and
strategic.
ask me for money, I
Brilliant.
will employ you.
So that you give them money.
Exactly.
Yeah. If your cakes could talk, what stories would they tell us about your journey?
They'll tell a story about freedom and exploration and just being happy and allowing yourself just be. The uniqueness of our cakes tell a story about freedom and allowing yourself be and grow and just putting out your expression on a piece that ends up being beautiful. Everyone's story is different. Everyone's way of expressing themselves is different. So allow yourself be you, and what you produce becomes an element or becomes an aspect of you.
Yeah.
And when people see me, they see the Queen Sugar, they see the cakes that I make, they can identify me as the maker and identify the cake as being made by me.
It's been amazing having you, Chef Olivia, on the Behind Her Brand show.
My name is Chef Olivia Okeke, and I have 3 social media handles. One's the Queen Sugar, where I explicitly put up only works that I have touched from top to bottom, and it's like a portfolio page for my international brand. I have Livvy's Twist, which is my everyday page where we post cakes that we do every day by me and my team. I have the Milk and Honey brand at Milk and Honey Lagos, where we post our pastries, coffee, sweet teas, and all delicious stuff. All my pages are run by my sister at Juanita Eats.
Nice.
Yes, a strong woman there. And all my family members are tentacles to my business. So, yes, I'm a woman with support. System.
Yeah,
and that's why.
thank them.
And that's why the businesses are growing as quickly as they're growing. And I'm happy to be on this show. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and turn on post notifications for more exciting, insightful, and inspirational episodes.